welcome back to another math video. Today we'll be working on converting percents, fractions, and decimals. Depending on what you start with, sometimes it's easier to convert to a fraction, decimal, or a percent. I'm going to do a couple examples and give you a couple tips and shortcuts on how to convert these. So let's start. If we start with 20%, the term percent means out of 100 or per 100. So if I'm taking this percent, 20%, to a fraction, that's pretty simple because I told you that percent means out of 100, so that just means 20 out of 100. So if you write that as a fraction, that would be 20 over 100. We can go ahead and reduce those. 20 goes into 20 once, and 20 goes into 105 times. So 20% as a fraction is 1/5. Now to go to a decimal, there's a couple ways to do this. You can take 1/5, you can take 1 and divide that by 5, that will give you a decimal. But the easiest way is just to move your decimal point and your percent. So let's say my decimal is here for 20. You move it 2 to the left. So I'm going 1, 2. So 20% as a decimal is 0.2. So that's how you convert from a percent, given a percent first, to a fraction, to a decimal. And sometimes it's easier if I was given a decimal to go back to a percent or a fraction. So let's try the next one, 4/25. Since that's a 25, I can convert that to 100 and then balance my numerator, or adjust my numerator to match what I did to the denominator. So let's do that over here. Do it in red. So if I have 4/25, and now I wanted to make it with a denominator of 100, I went 25 times 4 to get to that, so I'm going to have to multiply that by 4 as well. So this gives us, in terms of a fraction, this is equivalent to 16 out of 100. If I wanted to write that as a percent, remember percent is out of 100. If I have 16 out of 100, this is just 16%. Now to get the decimal in this case, we could take my 4 divided by 25, punch that in your calculator, you can get a decimal. Or, like I mentioned before, if you have the percent, it's much easier to get the decimal. When we went from decimal to percent, we moved it 2 to the right. If we're going from percent to a decimal, you're going to move that decimal 2 to the left. So 1, 2. That gives a 0.16. So for moving percent to a decimal is pretty easy. I think most students struggle with the fraction portion. Alright, let's try one more. This time we're given the decimal. So if we're given a decimal, we have to pay close attention to the placeholder. In this case, it's 0.1. Remember, in terms of placeholders, we have our tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. And in this case, the first placeholder after your decimal to the right of the decimal is your tenths place. The next is your hundredths, and then your thousandths. In this case, we're just looking at this decimal. It's in the tenths place, so this is telling me I have 1 out of tenths. So 1/10. And if I want to write that as percent, remember, if I can take my decimal and I can convert it to a percent just by moving the decimal 2 spots to the right. So 1, I can add a 0 here, and then 2. So as in terms of percent, that'll be 10%. Hopefully this tutorial helped. If you have any more questions pertaining to a topic like this, feel free to get a hold of me. Have a good day.